We welcome you back to Longhorn Weekly with Coach Rodney Terry from your Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. RT, always leave it to you to do the introductions of our special player guest.
Well, we are honored tonight to have Kaden Shedrick. Kaden is 6'11". He hails from Holy Springs, North Carolina. Holly Springs, not Holy Springs. Holly Springs, North Carolina, which is located in Raleigh, North Carolina, and better part of North Carolina, by the way, right? Very affluent area. No, we're blessed to have him. He played 4 years at Virginia. He redshirted his freshman year, played 3 good years there, got a chance to play in some tournaments as well, and came to us as a very experienced player, a guy that we expected to give us and has given us really good rim protection, and a guy that has a presence on both ends of the floor, offensively and defensively, and we're excited about having him be a part of our program.
Kaden, I've got to I want to hear from you about what, and then from RT as well, your first impressions of one another when the process came and you were going into the portal and there was contact made and conversations. What was that like?
Yeah, when RT reached out to me, Texas was in the middle of their tournament run still. So, it meant a lot to me that he was even reaching out to me, while they're still focused on their games. I understood that they had a lot going on, so I wasn't going to push anything during that time. But when the tournament run was over, he kept in contact with me, and I really liked what I heard. I was really impressed by the tournament run, impressed by what they did all year last year, and yeah.
RT, there's this famous story, since we were on the subject of North Carolina, since he's from there and I'm from the state, this famous story when North Carolina won the national championship. They're in the locker room, and Dean Smith's on the phone with Rasheed Wallace saying, you need to be here, that sort of thing. And so, you're never really far away from working the recruiting process, even as you're running a team to the Elite Eight last year.
No, absolutely. And the portal opened up, as we were still playing, and there were actually people having official visits while we were still playing. And so it was like, man, we can't get behind. We've got to stay on top of what's that, the guys that are out there and the guys that we have the most interest in. So we're literally, preparing for an NCAA tournament game, and we're also recruiting the top guys that we want for next season to be a part of our program.
Kaden, what appealed to you about not only the program but about the University of Texas? For folks who don't know, University of Virginia is a high-level academic school. Texas is a high-level academic school, so there's a common thread there. But what really appealed to you about UT?
Yeah, when I came on my visit here, I loved everything Austin had to give. There's a lot going on all the time, and it's kind of been nice to get out of the house more. I really enjoyed that in my time here. But then basketball-wise, it's just a different style of play. Get up and down more, a lot more possessions, and we still try to play high-level defense here, so I get to still continue to build on that. And the basketball is great, the school is great, and the city's awesome.
Okay, so you hold a degree from Virginia in commerce, correct?
Yes.
Tell folks a little bit of what that's all about.
So the University of Virginia has a school called the McIntyre School of Commerce. I think it's called McCombs here. I think
it's like the McCombs School of Business here?
Yeah, it's similar to that. So it was a lot of work. I was the first basketball player under Tony Bennett to get into there in his time there. We recently had another one get in this year. So it was a lot of work to get into it. I'm pretty proud of it. And yeah.
RT, when you've got a high-level academic guy, a high IQ guy like that, makes it a little bit easier in terms of integrating him into the program, doesn't it?
I like guys that are articulate guys that are cerebral guys. If they're a guy that can really excel, off the court, then picking up concepts, they pick up things really quick. Kaden's a really smart player, good IQ, and you want that. And, it's just icing on the cake when you have elite-level talent, but he also is a very smart guy as well.
How important is it to have that piece when you're recruiting someone who has done well in school? They may be in the portal, and there are guys from various levels of academic achievement who enter the transfer portal. But how important is it to have someone who has achieved at the level that Kaden has achieved as you go through candidates who are in the portal?
Well, again, you're going to have a measuring stick of a lot of different things in terms of, the boxes you want to check. And to have a guy that's excelled at a very high level from an academic standpoint is really huge. I know for Kaden in particular, in his recruiting process, he wanted to go somewhere, too, where he could be actively involved in watching a good football team play.
Oh, yeah.
He was really big on the football team.
Yeah.
He was, hey, I want to go somewhere where football is really good and I want to be at all the games. And you talk about one of the biggest fans of our football team. This guy was the biggest fan. I mean, when you talk about volleyball, he's just enthrust himself with everything. He goes to soccer, but he wanted to be around and be in a place where there were winners at the highest level in every sport.
What was the experience like for you the first time you got on the sidelines for a Longhorn football game?
Oh no, that was crazy. Texas football, is a lot different than Virginia football. We go and support our guys at Virginia, but walking into DKR for the first time, it's a sold out crowd. It was amazing.
Was that the Rice game, the first game of the year?
Whatever the first game was, I was there.
Yeah, and you could see that on the faces of some guys, whether they're already in the fold or guys who may be on recruiting visits that get an opportunity.
This guy was the first guy that wanted to get over there and see it. I mean, he was ready, biting at even as they were winning throughout the course of the year, there were some guys that would still want to go to the football game. He was always the guy that was going to be at the game. Rain, snow, whatever, he's going to be at the game.
You mentioned volleyball as well. Did you enjoy going to see this national championship volleyball team play?
Oh yeah, they're great as well. They're high level. I feel like every sport here is really high level, and so I feel like I can go to any competition, any game, and really enjoy myself in some high level competition.
Does that mean an awful lot to you to be a part of an athletic program that has such winning tradition and winning programs, no matter what sport you're talking about?
Yeah, I think that's important because it helps hold yourself to a higher standard. We see all these teams in the fall; they're all winning their conference and all that. So now expectations are high for us going into the end of the Big 12 play and then the tournament play. We have to hold up our end of a stick.
And RT, we've talked about the coaches are very, very supportive of it. I mean, Sark was talking about it at his news conference yesterday, how tough and how hard fought the game was on Tuesday night. I mean, the coaches are very supportive of one another.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we're a fraternity, and again, we have the elite of the elite in terms of coaches on this campus, and we're all pulling for each other to be successful at a very high level.
Kaden Shedrick, our special guest. We have more with Kaden coming up when Longhorn Weekly with Rodney Terry from here at Pluckers continues in a moment.
150 on the clock, 10 on the shot clock. Max, long NBA range three, good! Oh, that's a dagger in the heart from Asmus.
We welcome you back here to Longhorn Weekly from Pluckers, the West Campus location here in Austin. Our special guest is Kaden Shedrick. Now, I got to ask you, when a guy like Max gets into a rhythm, gets into a groove, and starts hitting shots like he did last Saturday against TCU, what's going through, even as you guys are on the floor and you're getting up and down the floor and you have to do what you have to do, but what's going through your mind when you see one guy get going like that?
No, it's special. I heard a lot about it when I was, at UVA, watching Oral Roberts, his tournament runs and all that. But, seeing it in person is completely different. It's really special to see. I haven't quite seen like a shot maker like that can create his own shot and just keep chucking them in there. Like, it's really cool to watch.
Kaden, as has been mentioned, is 6 feet 11 inches tall. But you really had a growth spurt between your freshman and sophomore year in high school. We went from 6'2" to 6'8" at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, was it at that point where you were kind of thinking maybe baseball wasn't cut out for you? Because you were a good pitcher all the way up into high school. Did the growth spurt kind of take that out of play?
Yeah, I loved baseball. Baseball was my first love. I always enjoyed watching baseball, playing, like throwing a baseball and all that. But, when I got around 6'8", it got really hard to, control my pitches. The strike zone, I was hitting got really big. And, I was offered the opportunity to come play for an AAU program nearby my home called Garner Road. They're on the Adidas circuit. They're like, look, well, if you're a spot on our team, we can get you to college and play basketball, but you wanted to give up baseball. It was a really difficult decision for me, but it worked out in the end. So.
And in the Raleigh area, the USA National Center down in Cary, that's a big thing as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were a pitcher. Were you a 2-pitch guy, a 3-pitch guy, 4-pitch guy? How many pitches did you have?
3, but I really just liked my two-seam fastball. I threw kind of sidearm, so it had a lot of movement on it, but I really loved hitting. I loved hitting.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I mean, now as a pitcher, did you throw fastball, slider, change?
It would be fastball, change, curve.
Curveball.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I've been told, and I've kind of seen a little bit of it on the road, but I want to get your thought. I've been told you're the funniest guy on the team.
They like to say that sometimes.
They like to say it, or it's true?
I don't want to take the crown myself, but a few of the guys do think that. Yes.
I mean, because in all the times of visiting with you, I mean, we have good, pleasant conversations, but you're always kind of like how you are now. You kind of low-key and reserved and things like that. So when are you at your funniest?
I don't know. It kind of just comes out natural, just hanging out in the locker room. I'll say something funny and kind of get on a little roll. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Have you ever said anything funny in a game?
In a game?
Yeah. Like maybe a timeout or maybe a dead ball situation, or there's going to be foul. Somebody just got called for a foul or something like that. Have you ever said something funny in a game?
There's a time to be serious, but if we're up a lot, we're all feeling good, we're all feeling like loose. I'll crack a joke on the court every now and then, but.
Yeah. All right. So you've obviously achieved a great deal academically, and still doing that now. But obviously, I know at 6'11", there would be people would think there would be ambition. What are your ambitions beyond the University of Texas?
I hope to play basketball as long as I can. After that, I'm not quite sure what I want to do. I know I'll have a lot of options. I got that great degree. That's something I'll end up exploring over the next few years. What I want to do when the ball stops bouncing, which I know is inevitable. But hopefully basketball could take me a little ways further first.
Why do I get the feeling you might be a Wall Street wizard? Could you handle being a big captain of industry, a big captain of finance on Wall Street?
I'd have to do a lot more learning first, but maybe one day. I'm not quite like Colbot. That's really Colbot's
really
thing. Yeah, Colbot can really do that.
He's the kind of the wizard of that.
Oh, he's ready for it. Yeah.
What is the best thing you like about being a student and a student athlete at UT?
I think it was what I was talking about earlier, just how great the athletics are here. I love going to every game that I can. And outside of like athletics, just living in Austin, I've really enjoyed like the music. Like I got to go to ACL, that was really fun. There's concerts all the time in Moody Center. I've got to see like a lot of artists that I never thought I'd like see. So just a whole bunch of new experiences that I'm gaining. The food's awesome as well. I love Terry Black's. So yeah, I mean I love every bit of it. Would
you say that Austin is a little bit different than Charlottesville?
Oh yeah, for sure. Charlottesville's like a college town. Austin, y'all know what it is, big city, all that stuff. But it's a very different vibe for sure.
Appreciate you coming by. All right, it's Kaden Shedrick with us. RT and I will come back with some questions when Longhorn Weekly continues on the Longhorn Network and the Longhorn Radio Network from Learfield.